I finally found some parasol mushrooms this morning, well, this day, not really morning, and I was very happy to find them. I actually found a lot more, but I didn't really want to, pick something that I'm not going to eat and that will just be destroyed. I was thinking just to explain briefly how to identify them, but please do not use this as a very definite 100% sure guideline. I always want to emphasize that you need to consult various sources, experts, and if you can have a real expert with you or a society that is knowledgeable about mushrooms, that's even better. Those professional circles really. But if you are experienced, if you already know, if you want to know more, or you just want to get some information and then move along with your research, to be sure this is video for you. So these are parasol mushrooms. These are one of the most sought after mushrooms in various parts of the world. This part of the world where I am is also one of those. Imagine that. So here we don't have false parasols, as far as I know. In Americas you have that false parasols that are dangerous, they are poisonous, toxic. They have green gills. You can find them in the grasslands, on the lawns most likely, and so on. They can at the first glance quite resemble these parasol mushrooms, but they are not ones. So I'm not be concerning, because I'm coming from a region where we don't have these false parasols. We do have different kind of parasols, that is Lepiota or Macrolepiota family, actually genus, not a family, mushrooms. They are sometimes inedible. They are not toxic, but they are just not edible. Other times they are questionably edible. So in some people, some of these mushrooms may cause gastric upsets, with others not so much. But when we are talking about parasol mushroom, the real one, so I'm talking about Lepiota procera or Macrolepiota procera. I think that genus changed its name a bit in the recent times, but either way, that is the species that I'm talking about, and that is the mushroom that is in front of us today. Finally, so I have two different specimens here. None of them is really opened to the end. As you may see, this is still convex. If it was very ripe, let's say, it would be like an umbrella, so it would be much larger. Actually, I think maybe the size of the palm of my hand, or a bit smaller, or a bit larger than that. This is still half closed. Why? Because when I went foraging today, I only found these umbrella-like ones that were really, really gone off. They were already half rotting. They were there was a lot of dampness inside them. They were full of water, and they were not suitable for consumption really. So I skipped them and I took these younger ones that look better. If you happen to find some such as these, most of the time it's advised just to let them be, to let them open up, just to wait for one more day and let them open up. But what you can also do, I hear this from my Slovenian family, this information, I didn't know it, you can take it while it's closed and just, put the down part in water overnight. Tomorrow it will open up. I didn't try it, but I will try it actually, and I will report on what will happen. So yeah, that's another tip for you right there. So let's skip to identification. How do you identify parasol mushroom that is Lepiota or Macrolepiota procera, depending on the naming you're using? So here it is. First of all, well, some things are obvious. I won't be describing everything in detail. You see these kind of scales, dark scales. You have very dark center that is convex, and when you turn them upside down, this is pretty much whitish gills. What is important now? This is the very important part. So how to distinguish this one from the other ones, like from the shaggy parasol, let's say, that is very similar, but shaggy parasol can cause gastric upset in some people, unlike this one. So shaggy parasol won't have this snake-like stem. I don't know how. Yeah, I guess it is visible to an extent. I will try to focus a bit more on it, but you get the point. So as I'm moving my finger through the stem, I notice these bumps, and when you look at it visually, it has this snake-like skin on it. So this is the feature of Lepiota procera. You won't really find it elsewhere, and if you find, big mushroom that looks like this, with snake skin, let's call it like that, on the stem, you can be pretty sure you have Lepiota procera with you. And another feature is the ring that you can easily move up and down. See? It's really very, very easy just to move it. It is not attached in any way to the stem. I was talking about how to get rid of maggots, how to check for maggots. I will skip that part for now. If you are interested in that part, you can check my video where I have had a rassela with me. It was brown greenish rassela where I explained how to search for. It will be pretty similar with any kind of mushroom. So how to search for maggots, infestations, and so on. But let's keep that for now. The one that is closed actually is even better to explain this part of scaly skin on the stem, snake-like skin. You can see its ring, it's still attached, looks much darker, much smaller, which is to be expected. Another thing is it does not change its color when the stem is, let's say, hurt in a way. When it's cut somewhere, usually, not usually, but when you have shaggy parasol, what will happen if you cut it on the stem like this, it will gradually become pinkish or reddish, but not this one. This one won't change the color, won't have any bruising on it. Now this is it in very short. There are a lot of more, not a lot of more, there are few more differences between shaggy parasols and these ones. Would be better to make separate video when I actually find, if I find shaggy parasol, just to compare it and to explain to you how these differences really look like live. But here we have it for now. These are Lepiota procera mushrooms, parasol mushrooms, real ones, confirmed. Please be careful if you are a beginner and consult other sources as well. For example, here is one thing that I have with me all the time. Well, not really all the time, because it is a heavy book. I also use, of course, the internet and other stuff. So this is actually from the 80s, so some things might be a bit outdated, and you would need to be careful, of course, for that. But most of the things are not, and it's a beautiful illustrated book that can serve as a great guideline, explaining every single detail about mushrooms. Colors, stems, caps, smells, everything is there. Everything you need to know, all the parameters that you need to know, let's say, in order to distinguish and be sure about some mushrooms, they're here. And I just wanted to show you one great thing. Since we are talking about the parasol, so here it is. Parasol mushroom. This is the exact mushroom we are having over here. See these scales on the stems, the cap. Of course, there are some variations. This is a bit darker. Not everything will be exactly copy-paste from the photo, but then you, of course, you check the description and you make sure you know what you're dealing with. Again, always consult more sources than one preferably, and this is shaggy parasol right here. I won't be, just reading the book and showing it to you. I just wanted to mention that I have it. I ordered it from United Kingdom, and it's pretty relevant for entire Europe. Well, as it says. So that's about it. Shortly about the identification of parasol mushrooms. What I'm going to do now is to make something out of them, fry them, and report on how it tastes like. What it tastes like. That's it.